The following is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Sup, Deadites? Welcome to part 2 of What If Deku Was Venom. Now, here's a quick note for you guys. For my references, I titled part 1 Knock Knock, and this part is titled subtitled Let the Devil In. I bet you guys get that one. But let's get to the story. Last time on Venom, I left us with Nick Fury giving our heroes, for the lack of a better fitting word, a mission. I'm gonna drop us off at that. Izuku, my boy, we can use your current predicament to our advantage. Word has it that the actions of the hero killer and subsequently you have caused a wave of inspiration in the would-be villains in Japan. I would like for you to infiltrate that group and raise the accolades to a point. The Japanese heroes might not approve of this, but I don't really care. I ain't hiring you to be a hero. This is what we do best. Espionage.
It would appear Father wants us to look at the bigger picture.
Tell me about it. This won't really gain us any brownie points with the heroes. Director Fury, you are asking me to commit to a massive undertaking with no support, but I can see where you're coming from. I've garnered the ire of the entire Japanese hero community through a misunderstanding, and you're asking me to roll with it. We'll have to do something about Izuku Midoriya though. I assume it'll be hard for me to do me after I infiltrate. Nick was pleased that his boy was catching what he was throwing, and handed him a set of dossiers. Those of you with Season 4 knowledge should see potential problem here, but... So, what do you need me for then? Miles spoke up. Maria took the stage this time. Truth be told, we had no idea Izuku here was Venom. But now that we do, that opens up a certain set of avenues. We were going to go an entirely different direction, but now that we have you, son, she stares directly at Izuku, this is the more desirable plan of action. Miles, we'd like you to train Izuku. The look on Miles's and Izuku's faces screamed no, and even Venom jumped out in blob form, completely unamused by this.
Look here, Auntie Maria. I am essentially a woman scorned, and you're asking me to work with the ex-boyfriend that hurt me on so many levels. I'm gonna leave this choice purely on Izuku's hands.
Miles looked at Venom.
Name one thing I made you do against your will, bitch. I'm waiting.
Miles had nothing. Looking back on everything he had done, all Venom did was amplify his aggression. They didn't even have a personality at that time. Izuku, heavy in thought, takes the offer. He's not an idiot, and the powers he possesses thanks to Venom are rather close to Miles's. So at the very least, Miles would be a decent sparring partner. How long do I have to prepare for this? Izuku asked while reading the dossiers, one of which was a heavy file of Shigaraki Tomura. Her file was rather interesting. Yes, you heard that right. Once again, AFO isn't dead, but he's in a power nap of sorts. And besides, this is all Marvel Fusion Universe. There are threats far bigger than All for One. Now, there was a file on him as well, and it was freaking huge as far as... So, yeah, Nick knows about All for One. Izuku had to put his skills to use to power through that file. After reading All for One's rap sheet, he felt sorrow for his uncle. This Izuku knows about One for All and was actually offered it, but he turned it down. Said offer was made after Venom made itself known, so he didn't really need One for All in the mix. He didn't want to see what would happen in that instance. Miles put Izuku through the ringer, and the two had a few weeks of training together. Izuku and Venom didn't want to admit it, but they had seen serious gains thanks to training with Miles, and vice versa. Izuku thought about a finishing touch to add to his villainous/anti-hero look. Venom now had the giant white spider symbol that we all know him to have and bear. If any of the villains he'd meet would ask, he'd say it was to mock Spider-Man. While the students of UA had their final against heroes, Venom would have to deal with his own share of problems, really. His father had officially thrown him into the wolves to enact their plan. Venom was on patrol and managed to corner his prey, a pimp that went by the name of Overbite. Dude had metallic jaws and vicious teeth. He had forced many a woman under his employ, and our anti-heroes would see it end. He was a rather violent pimp. However, just as he was about to make his move, he ran into Gran Torino and All Might.
And where, pray tell, do you think you're going, murderer? The hero killer is one thing, but you also assaulted one of my students, and I will not forgive such an action.
Well, this isn't going to be good for them. Nope, not at all.
Well, crap.
We need to get out of here, Izuku.
Not even an option at the moment. You're crazy if you think we can outrun Gran Torino. There isn't even an sewer access in this area, and I see nary a crack for us to escape through.
Venom tossed a small chunk of themselves out at the two heroes, and it began to spread out and explode.
Reno was stuck in the goo, and All Might was temporarily blinded.
Good thing you spend so much time around Katsuki. The aspects we gained from his quirk have come in handy this day. We should bounce before All Might gets his senses back.
Good point. Let's ghost.
Venom, and by that I mean the both of them, were kind of pissed that their objective wasn't made, but they looked at Underbite and cut his cheek on the way out. Venom leaped away and swung off to the nearest manhole cover and did his goo thing. It was a good thing that it was a torrential downpour going on, so he blended in with the mucky water when the two heroes went looking for him. Now, for a scene with the pimp. Subs that fool right. Good thing those heroes were there to cover me, or the things might have gone bad. If they knew who I was, that is.
It's cute that you think you got off scot-free.
The hell was that?
We are Venom, and we have infiltrated your central nervous system. Now, I won't tell you to stop pimping, but you are to treat your girls better, or else I'll have to hurt you. Since I'm in your brain, I don't think I need to elaborate what'll happen now, do I?
Underbite gulped, but he got the picture. He'd be taking a less hands-on approach from now on. The funny and sad thing about this is his girls were actually happier to work with him after the change of attitude. After about a month, the inkling left inside of him went into hibernation of sorts. But back to the point, yeah? News of Venom's run-in with All Might in Gran Torino would, well, make the news, and that added to their infamy. Even if people were to assume that the alley incident was a stakeout gone wrong, people still died as a result, and that was on Venom. His actions made him an anti-hero, but would still be seen in a villainous light. The Tenya Ida incident, once again, Tensei was indeed able to ID Stain. He even gave Venom the benefit of the doubt. Look, officer, that's the man that attacked me, not Inkling. This is the hero killer. Oh, definitely. All Might was quite confused with that.
So, this one attacked you, not Inkling. Perhaps your brother was a case of a sting gone wrong, but either way, he's involved with business he shouldn't be, and can be linked to at least 2 different murders. Your testimonial won't put him off the hook, I'm afraid.
Tensei took a good look at Toshinori. What's the matter? Didn't think a little ass whipping would make you blush, number 1 hero. All Might spat out his drink and stared into Tensei's very soul. Talk about an awkward interaction. Now Tenya's out for the count, and that means I have a vacancy to fill. I put this up to the Boneyard and the community this time around, since it was a very tough decision for me. Sam Alexander, also known as the boy called Nova, won out. By a landslide, actually. We'll pick up on that a little later, since the story doesn't really focus on 1A, since Deku ain't even in it in any way, shape, or form. News was spread nationwide that Venom didn't kill Native, but he was just as bad, if not worse, as the hero killer, though. Considering after the Tenya incident, he was definitely linked to a few murders or brutal assaults that led to, well, death, and was tried with murder. But of course, the news touched on the fact that Inkling is not the hero killer, but he's still a killer. Unlike the hero killer, Venom, or I suppose Inkling in the eyes of the public, once again, has blood on his hands. Stain was the first confirmation of such a thing. There are many types of crimes out there, and those are the types of people our duo would punish. The kind that use the law as their shield. Mofos like that were people Venom hated the most. Now S.H.I.E.L.D. had found someone interesting for Izuku. There was a criminal that possesses a quirk that he'd find desirable for keeping Izuku Midoriya in the public eye. I'm certain that a good amount of you know who I'm talking about. Venom found themselves in a rather dingy-looking studio apartment. Once again, it was a terribly rainy day, so our crew just snuck into the place in puddle form. You could hear his target arguing with someone. I'm not sure this is a good look. We're talking about hardened criminals. Some of them even make what we do look like child's play. Don't be a wuss. Sounds like a good deal for us. If you don't like it, we could split. There was no one else in that room at all. So if you haven't figured this one out yet, the person Venom is stalking is none other than Jin Bubayagawara. Twice. In my opinion, the most dangerous asset of the Villain League. And if you ask me, their biggest crutch. While his quirk allowed them to do dangerous things and mislead the heroes, being dependent on it was just asking for trouble if someone like me were in charge of writing for them. Oh wait, I am. Ever watch The Blob?
That's what's about to happen to this fool.
We should test this new ability of ours.
Ooh, that's a nice thought there, Izuku.
The two would put the clones to the test by putting them in front of their loved ones. When that proved to work well enough, it was time to do what they needed done in the first place. It felt odd viewing himself at a press conference, really. It was a weird sensation, but he could feel his clone answer as he would. Unlike with Twice, Deku was in full control. He wanted a literal clone, and he got one. Clones of himself, at least, behaved as he wanted them to. Then, for just a flicker of a second, Izuku had a horny teenager moment, and a naked Antoinette Stark was in front of him. Tony? Whether he looked away in shame and dismissed it, or did something else, I'll leave that to your imagination. Don't put that evil on me. Izuku went to the joint in the puddle form and waited for activity. Kurogiri, are you certain about this? What if we get another batch of lemons? Kurogiri was cleaning a glass behind the counter.
Worry not, Mistress Tomura. I am most certain that tonight's turnout shall be beneficial to our goals. The combined actions of the deceased hero killer and the menace known as Inkling have stirred the pot and inspired many to our goals.
Dobby was the first to arrive. If Venom wasn't in puddle form at that moment, he'd steer clear of him. Dobby lit a shot of whiskey and drank it. Others came as well, so I'll be blunt here. You get everyone in the league except for Twice, who is obviously dead. When Himiko comes in, look here, miss. This ain't a playground. Maybe you should go. Himiko cuts muscular and licks the knife.
I think I'm fine where I am right now, thank you very much.
She says as soon as she turns back. That was not enough blood to maintain that forever. Himiko officially had Tomura's interest. She'd give her a few pointers if she even needed them, that is. Kurogiri pours Tomura, which is also a female name, a glass of rosé. As she puts her lips to the glass, Izuku had a wonderful idea. Venom waited until she was drinking and solidified directly in front of her and next to Kurogiri.
What I'd give to be that glass.
Tomura isn't about to waste a good glass of rosé, so she finished, then said her piece.
Well, it would appear that we have a celebrity in our midst. What brings the mighty Inkling to our abode?
That name again. We hate that name.
They thought in unison as they grabbed Tomura by the neck, but not gripping her tightly enough to be a threat. Their teeth were in full view, and this was the complete Super Diesel Venom at this moment. Muscular's got nothing on this guy. Our name is... Venom got a hold of their emotions.
My name is not Inkling. I am Venom.
Tomura chuckled a bit, since he made himself a non-threat to her. If he wanted her dead, all he had to do was grip tighter and put a little more force into it. But, considering where his other hand was, she couldn't resist.
Well, that's fine and dandy, Mr. Venom. But if you're quite done copping a feel, could you put me down gently, please?
Venom coughed when he realized
Where?
his left hand was and what it was holding on to.
Apologies. I heard that horrendous name and got lost in my anger. I should know better since me and Rage are like water and acid. Now I do believe your fine self has a proposition for all of us. Yes.
A wicked smile to end all wicked smiles was on Miss Tomura's face. And oddly enough, as far as Izuku was concerned, it was the most beautiful thing he had ever seen. If you liked that, let's get a United States smash on that like button. If you're not subscribed, consider going full howling with that subscribe button. And let's go plus ultra with the notifications. Ring that bell, baby. Rest easy, Deadites. And remember, the night is ours.